pleasure of introducing the keynote speaker, and I guess since I've known her for 16 years, I'm most qualified to introduce her. She's my daughter. This morning, Alex is going to be speaking to you, and I just wanted to give you a little background before she comes on stage. At the end of her sophomore year, she had posted a picture on Instagram, and it was probably like about 4 inches of binder paper, and she said, this is my year in my tech classes. And I had posted it on Twitter, and it just took off. People were reposting it. People from Australia were contacting her. And so she was invited to appear on a show called The Bedley Brothers, which is a tech show online, if you saw it. And she was invited to speak at San Diego Q, and it's just kind of taken a life of itself. And I cannot begin to express to you how amazed I am that a 16-year-old's about to stand. I'm nervous right now, and I'm not even speaking today. That she's about to stand in front of you and share with you her passion and what's important to her as her student voice. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Alexandra.
Okay. Hello, my name is Alex, like she just said, and today I'll be giving you an insight on the student voice. Starting again. I'm a junior at Grossmont Middle College High School. And I'm going to start off by asking you a simple question. Imagine I just bought you a brand new coloring book. And I gave you the option when you were about to begin coloring whether you want a 10-pack of crayons or a 120-pack of crayons. Now you picked the 120 because, well, it's 110 more colors. And that gives you more opportunities to color in whatever you wish to color. And that concept applies to the use of technology in classrooms. Because why would you not let me use all of the tools available to me to do whatever I wish and to express my creativity? And so if you think about it, the 120 pack of crayons is like all these new ways of teaching with technology, while the 10 pack of crayons is all the old school ways with paper and pencils. I actually found all of this in my own house. I was impressed. And so when I am going home every day with this pile of homework, I'm not taking out a pack of crayons. I'm taking out my laptop or my iPad to do the work. And I do the work on the computer first, because why would I want to do the work that I have to do by hand? Because if I have all these tools that allow me to do all these cool things, and you're having me take notes from a textbook to turn back into you, or to, this actually happened, have me make a PowerPoint presentation to print out to put under the dot camera to present the next day. Why would I want to do any of that when I can do it all online and make it a million times cooler than what I can give to you on a piece of paper? And I have for you a video on perception by Bo Lotto in his TED Talk, Science is for Everyone.
It's because perception is grounded in our experience, right? The brain takes meaningless information and makes meaning out of it, which means we never see what's there, we never see information, we only ever see what was useful to see in the past, right? Which means when it comes to perception, we're all like this frog. Right? It's getting information, it's generating behavior that's useful. And sometimes when things don't go our way, we get a little bit annoyed, right? But we're talking about perception here, right? And perception underpins everything we think, we know, we believe, our hopes, our dreams, the clothes we wear, falling in love. Everything begins with perception. Now, if perception is grounded in our history, it means we're only ever responding according to what we've done before. But that creates a tremendous problem, because how can we ever see differently?
Now let me just repeat that for you. He said, perception is grounded in our experience. The brain takes meaningless information and makes meaning out of it. which means we never see what is there, we never see information, we only see what was useful to see in the past. Perception underpins everything we think, we know, we believe, our hopes, our dreams, the clothes we wear, falling in love. Everything begins with perception. Now, if perception is grounded in our history, it means we're only ever responding according to what we've done before. But actually, it's a tremendous problem because how can we ever see differently? And so students don't have a big history because we're pretty new. So you have to let the students create the new perception. We have all these ideas on how a classroom should be run, from how the teacher should act to what the teacher should be using. And teachers need to listen to that because learning should be reciprocal. You shouldn't be telling us what to do, you should also be listening to what we think should be going on in the classroom. And when I presented at San Diego Q, I sent out a survey to students and teachers, which got over 200 student responses, ranging from the grades 4th all the way up through high school. And this, which you see here, is the outcome of one of the questions was, how often do you use technology in your classroom? And the numbers are very close between what the student said and what the teacher said, but what is more important is the number, and that 72% of students said they use it daily. That means that 28% are not. It's like if I went out into the audience and took away 28% of your technology and said, maybe you can use it tomorrow or maybe next week. And if I give it back to you and we're going to write an essay, that sounds super exciting, doesn't it? But that's what many teachers do. That's what I've learned, is that they believe that using technology is typing an essay, that it's some $1,000 pencil, and that's not what it is. When I asked students what their advice was for teachers in my survey, the biggest one was, do it, it's 2014, which it was last year. And that's super big because it is 2014, or 2015. And it's showing you that the students are ready for this. And you may not be, and that's why you come to these type of events where you look to learn more. But the students are ready, and they're willing to help you. And so, I have for you a short video that I recorded at my school. That we recorded about technology in the classrooms. And to give you a little bit of perception on these students, we have 2 high school courses. One is very technology oriented, and the other is not. And so where we are coming from is a little bit of both places, and based off our old high school experiences, which tend to be more not technology oriented. So I hope you enjoy.
Organized because everything's all in one place, so you don't like scramble around for papers and stuff like that. So
honestly, it's not just about the convenience. It's a lot simpler to use technology, like with the organization, with everything that goes along with it. The lack of hand cramping, the lack of calluses on your hands from writing essays for hours, and it just makes everything so much easier to bring technology into the classroom.
Classes that do have technology usually are far more efficient, just like based on the fact that computers are more efficient than just writing by hand, and can also be a better learning environment for the students because with computers you do have an easier outlet to collaborate and also develop research and such.
If I had one thing to say in advice, it'd be to remember that technology is a tool for education. It's not going to teach kids on its own. So if you're going to use it, you need to remember that you're using it in addition to whatever you're teaching. So just because you're using all this technology doesn't mean that your education, that you're better at teaching. You need to also focus on making sure that your students are getting everything that they need to.
So just like in acting, you have to make a strong choice. So if you're not going to use technology, then don't use it, but if you are, then try and commit to that the best. Because I found that at my old school, when a teacher would just bring in a Chromebook cart for the day, they had no idea what they were doing, and they gave the students power to goof off and do things that they weren't supposed to. So if you're going to use technology, hold the power and make a strong decision that that's what you're going to stick with.
What these students are wanting and what they believe is happening is this idea of the 21st century classroom. And the 21st century classroom should be the common standard because we've been in the 21st century for 15 years. And the idea that to some teachers their computers are like in this foreign language is insanity. And to believe that your classroom is 21st century because you're using Google Drive is a complete lie. Because it's just fancy names on Word and PowerPoint, and if that's all you're doing, I refuse to let you say you are technology advanced and you have a 21st century classroom. Because I can hand you a typewriter and your students can do the exact same thing that you are having them do every day. And so we need to be on the same page of what technology means in the classroom. Because if it means to you that they are typing an essay to print it out and give it to you, then we're not on the same page, because it should be a tool that is used to allow them to express their creativity, to allow them to use it to enhance their learning, and to just explore. And that's what using technology should be doing in the classroom. Now, technology is never perfect, and I really wish it was, and I'm not saying that you should leave this and go completely paperless, because it's really hard. And I'm not even completely paperless, because most of the time, my school doesn't allow me to, or what I'm doing doesn't always allow me to, because not everyone is paperless. As you can see, I'm using technology integrated with paper in many of these photos, and that's the photo my mom was talking about earlier when she introduced me, which you can still see my long rants on Instagram, if you wish. But people just need to be open to using this technology as different from the $1,000 pencil idea. And so if you're willing to allow yourself to be like, okay, Google Drive is not 21st century, I need to get with the program. I have some ideas for you, and that's what I'm going to be showing you next. So these are just some expressing creativity ideas. Prezi on the left is more well known. And so some of you may know it. It's like a 3D presentation program. And once you figure it out, it's quite easy and it looks pretty cool. It's like you have this pop-up book and you're looking straight down at it and it's going around everything that's popped up. Now the one in the middle is eMaze, which is personally my favorite, and you're actually watching one right now. It's amazing, isn't it? And it's just a more visually appealing presentation program, and I quite enjoy it. And then the one on the right, which may be less well known, is Padlet, which is not a presentation program, but it's like an online corkboard. And so this is an example. If you didn't know quite what it was, you can insert photos and text and video with just a double click, and it becomes this long thread of everything you've posted. And this is one I did Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye. And as you can see, I have photos and videos and text, and it all just flows together flawlessly. And another type of technological integration you can do is blogs, which I actually started more this year than I have before. And they're a great place for kids to reflect or to do a project. And on the very left was my literature project, which was actually a group project I did this year. And it was, we picked a book, and instead of every week me going, okay, pages 40 through 68, this is what happened, even though the teacher has probably never read it and could care less. You read my reflections and my quotes that I picked that I really liked, and what I thought of the characters. And our goal in the classroom is to always get it outside of the four walls. And so when I posted it on Twitter, to the author, she actually responded to me and told me that she liked my insights. And that is extremely empowering to know that not just your teacher is giving you the A, but the author of the book you are writing about is pretty much giving you an A. And then the one in the middle is my newer blog, which is for 20% time. And again, the idea is to get outside of the four walls, and when you post on Twitter, normally someone responds, and I was posted on this Genius Hour website, which is super cool. And it gives more meaning to a project if you can get your blog outside of your classroom. Because I can tell you, most of the other classmates are never going to look at your blog. And your teacher's only looking at it because she's required to grade you on it. And so when other people are looking at it because they find what you're doing interesting and intriguing and they want to read it, that just brings it to a whole new level. And so from my success with these blogs, I was inspired to create my own blog, which is on the right, and that's what your goal should be, that what you're doing in your classroom is inspiring your students to take these tools and use them on their own, in their own world, because then they're not doing it for a grade, they're doing it purely because they enjoy it. There is a quote by Benjamin Franklin that I think fits this very well. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Because when you involve your students in what you're doing in the class, they are more engaged and they want to be there, and they want to know what you're doing and they want to do it with you. Whereas if you set something in front of me, like a laptop, and you say, you're going to type this, and I'm not giving you any other option on how you're going to do it, you're going to do it this way, I'm not going to enjoy it as much as if you gave me a question and said, use any program you wish to answer this question as long as you answer it. Because then I have the ability to express my creativity and do quite whatever I please, and maybe show you something new. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to everyone who is here in the audience and to everyone who supported me in this journey. And I hope you have a wonderful day at TechFest. And I hope